World War II lasted from 1939 to 1945. More than 100 million people from 30 different countries made efforts in the war. The main cause of this war was the fact that Hitler wanted to dominate the other European countries. After the attack on Pearl Harbor on December 7, 1941, the U.S. decided to join the war efforts. The newest medical discoveries during World War II were sulfanilamide, penicillin, Atibrine, plasma, and morphine.
Through mass production methods, America is continually increasing its output of penicillin, the new drug that effects almost miraculous cures. The liquid medium in these bottles will grow the mold that forms penicillin. First, however, the liquid is purified by sterilization in great ovens. After sterilization, the medium is carefully inoculated with the seeds of the penicillin mold. The next step is incubation. Slowly, the mold that contains the precious drug forms in the bottles. All penicillin produced is used by the Allied fighting forces. The liquid, now charged with penicillin, is poured from the bottles. Turned into a powder, it is ready for use.
During World War II, someone's religion just depended on their background. There were 7 mainline denominations: Baptists, Congregationalists, Disciples, Episcopalians, Lutherans, Methodists, Presbyterians, and with the occasional Catholic or Jewish person. The nurses of World War II felt safer after praying, singing, and going to church. Because some soldiers died under the care of nurses, the nurses felt like it was their fault, and some of them went into depression. The thing that helped them get through it was religion. In the beginning, when the U.S. Army decided to join the war efforts, there weren't enough nurses to meet the demands of our military. There were many different nurse groups during World War II, but 2 of the main ones were the U.S. Army Nurse Corps and the American Red Cross. Before the attack on Pearl Harbor, there were fewer than 1,000 nurses in the U.S. Army Nurse Corps. The nurses worked on hospital trains, ships, and medical transport planes. Since these nurses served on the front lines, there were many casualties. The first nurse that died in a plane crash. Over 201 nurses were killed during the war, and 16 died due to enemy action.
I went in the December the 7th, 1942, and I was in the Army until July of 45. I was a registered nurse, of course. My rank at that time was second lieutenant, and later I made first lieutenant. We're under fire, air raids, shells, and so forth most of the time. And prior to the time that we got there, 6 nurses had been killed. One evac hospital had been destroyed. It was very, very rough there. The most difficult patients we had was after the front moved out from Anzio, and at that time I was with the 2nd Platoon of the 33rd Field, and we were following the front line. And we had, as you remember, I said I had about 250 patients back at Anzio before we were moving. Well, when we were following the front line, we were limited to 30 patients, and they were very ill. At one time, out of our 30 patients, we lost 6 one day, and I was very depressed about that. And the commanding officer said, well, if we weren't here, not one of them would live to get back to the evac hospital. You felt like everybody was under the same circumstances that you were. And you did, I think, I felt it, my husband felt it, that we were closer to those people than any other group in our life because we shared the same experiences.
$104,000 nurses were recruited by the American Red Cross. These nurses provided emergency message services, and also 27 million Red Cross packs were distributed to prisoners of the war. The American Red Cross nurses gave soldiers coffee and donuts from trucks called Club Mobiles.
We had donut machines, donut mix, coffee, ground coffee. So we'd go out to a base and hook up to their electrical system for the donut machine. It had a PA system, but that meant that that either they could listen with their coffee and donuts, or you could dance with them. We also, in our off time, as it were, would go over to the two Red Cross clubs in town, and help, you know, entertain and listen.
The donation of blood, as we do annually, was around at that time, and also 78 workers died during the war. If it weren't for the nurses and the medical advances from World War II, the medical field would not be the same today.